Hey guys, Lorena Magana here with the latest episode of Movie Maker magazine. Today, I'm talking to director Ari Hyman about his film, Ride Along. Let's take a look at a clip from the film.
For the next 15 minutes, can you just pretend to be a cop?
Try and keep him away from the boobs. Ride Along is sort of a father-son tale. It's a dark and humorous story about a cop who's a bit of an alcoholic and an orphan street child who also happens to be a bit of an alcoholic. And they meet at the end of a tough day that sort of leaves each one wishing that they had something more in their lives.
What was it like working with Lex Torrington, the young lead in your film?
That was the hardest part. That pushed production back like 6 months because it was too much riding on him to go into it without having the exact perfect child. He had to be right. And so we knew somebody at Gary Spatz Acting Conservancy. It's an acting school for kids, and it's like he's the best. And I knew somebody that worked there, and I sent them a script, and he sent it to Gary, and Gary looked at it and said, I can't be involved professionally unless you pay me, but there's a kid here that's absolutely perfect. And they introduced me to this kid, Lex Torrington, and I met with him and his mom, and I said, look, I'm not gonna lie, the script's got some really messed up moments in it for a little kid, and he's gotta pretend to smoke and pretend to drink, and he's gotta pretend to be drunk, and that was the hardest part, was getting a child to pretend to be drunk when he doesn't really understand what drunk is. And I was a little afraid that I was like poisoning his mind for the rest of eternity. But he did really well. He got it. He understood what I was looking for. And aside from the restrictions of the hours that we were allowed to film because he's a child, and working with him at night, other than that, it was terrific. He was just so spot on. He had the attitude that the kid needed to have, and he nailed it. I thought he was great.
And now he's turned to drinking.
Now he's going to be drinking. Luckily, I just found out he couldn't come to the screening last night because he's in summer camp, which is like the best possible place for him to be right now, to like erase all of the horrible things that I've done to him. So with any luck, he's just like doing archery and like, making God's eyes or something.
What was it like shooting at Jumbo's Clown Room?
Jumbo's is my favorite place. Jumbo's is the first bar that I ever went to in LA. I literally arrived in LA on my birthday, driving cross country, arrived here on my birthday, and met some people at Jumbo's. And it was the first place I've ever been to, and to me, it's the best place in LA. And so when I wrote the script, it was difficult because it was written specifically for Jumbo's. It was written not because of anything other than the layout in the stage. I needed a low-sitting stage that him and the kid could sit at, and where we could shoot from the stage and then turn around and reveal the dancer. So I was terrified that they wouldn't let me film there, especially with a kid. And then we would have to sort of build the stage and do all kinds of crazy things. And I was going there enough, hanging out there enough, that I met the owner, and she was really kind, and she charged us a fee, but she did let us film. And I told her we would agree not to show the name in the scene of the kid drinking, and it was fine. And he didn't drink any alcohol, so it turned out to be fine. But it was great being able to be on the stage there with a camera was fun.